the elevator showcase. Tonight we're going down to the basement of your fear and your anxiety. Yes, it's a variety. Show me what you're working on. Stand-up sketches, stories, or songs. If we like it, we'll let you know. We'll type it in the chat during the show. Welcome to the elevator showcase. I'd like to highlight Bruce. Without sweet Bruce, this show wouldn't go. Tip of my Venmo. I'd love to tell you who's in the show, but truth be told, I don't know. A group, it seems we like to wait to submit our piece until it's almost too late. Welcome to the elevator. Welcome to the elevator.
I'm Guy Fieri, and my favorite barbecue joint is hell!
Show.
Well, hi, boys and girls. I want to tell you a spooky story. Yeah. All right. Sorry, setting the mood. Hi. So, yeah. Now this story is crazy, but to understand where this come from and why this moment was that way, we need to first go back to 1738. That was a good place in time to be. And by 1738, I mean that's my house address. That's where I lived. So, my mom and dad got married. Little backstory: my dad remarried, never remarried, married my stepmom. I call her my mom. So when my dad married my stepmom, he took on a bonus son, and then my stepmom took on a bonus son and me. So my older brother, he was 9 years older than me, and as an older brother, you like to poke fun at your younger brother and tell him stories and stuff and mess with him. Like, one of the things he used to do to me a lot was when we would go on road trips, I was small, and he'd be like, hey, my dad be like, son, sit in your chair, keep your seatbelt on, don't take your seatbelt off. My brother would be riding down the road, and he'd do things like, oh snap, look at that. Look at that. And I'm like, what? I can't see. And I take off my seatbelt and I pick it out. I'm like, what was it? And my dad would yell like, Raju, put your damn seatbelt back on. I'd be like, I couldn't see what it was. I don't care. Put your seatbelt back on. So I put it back on. And we'd ride a little bit. 5-10 minutes go by. He'll do it again. Dang! Look at that right there. I'm like, what is it? Click. Take the seatbelt off. My dad, son, if I gotta tell you again, I'm gonna pull this car over and I'm gonna beat your ass. Put the seatbelt back on. So I put it back on, click. Seatbelt's back on. Now we're riding. Now I'm just mad and angry. And he just looking at me snickering. So that was kind of our dynamic growing up. So when our parents got married, we moved to 1738. Now 1738 was a house that was built in like 1945. I knew it because it was cement. Little slab where it was some handprints and it said 1945 on it, so I'm assuming that's the day it was built in, or that's the day they did some foundation work. Either or, it works. So this house is creaky, it's old. When the wind blows, you hear shit. Like I used to hear everything. So we had in the basement, it was this shed. It was a perfect tool shed. It had little holes on the side like you can peek through and look in if you want. Or it was like breathing holes, even though I know it wasn't air sealed tight, but it was like breathing holes. So inside it was weird. It had like pipe work, little shelving, everything, tools and stuff was already there, was changed and stuff. And my brother was like, "Oh, you don't know what his house was and what happened in his house?" I was like, "No, it was a house. What do I look like knowing what a house is? Like, a house is a house, you know?" That was my thing. He was like, "Oh, well, let me tell you about it." Now, knowing how my brother is and how he always messes with me, I allowed him to tell me something, which was stupid. I regret it now, but thinking back on it, it was a fun moment. So here's the story. So, the owners of the house before we bought it were white. Isn't that how all house stories go? It was a white owner. Yeah, pretty much. Anywho, it was a white owner, and it was a mom and dad, and they had 2 kids, a girl and a boy. So one particular day, while the brother and sister was out up front playing, the mom and dad was in the house, and in the process of it, the brother went in the house to grab something, and it came back out. The sister was gone. No one knew where the sister was. Mother came out. "Where are you? Where are you?" Couldn't find you. Dad came out. "Where are you? Where are you?" Couldn't find her. Brother said, "Hey, I just went in the house to get something. I came back out. She was gone. I don't know where she could have went." So now everybody on the block is just up in arms, like, "Where is she? Where is she? Everybody, look for her. Everybody, check your houses, your backyards, everything." So everybody, for like hours, are checking everything. Now this mom and dad is sad. They're getting very worried. Week go by, still couldn't find her. Months go by, still couldn't find her. Now they decided to just partially move on with life, but just still just had a little hope inside of them. But that hope quickly went away when years passed.
Hey y'all, I really struggled with making this video because I don't want it to be perceived as me bringing another creative person down or making fun of the art that they've put out in the world, but I felt like this was super necessary. You all know Nate Erickson, really nice guy, really talented. He writes, he plays instruments, he's very clever, he's very nice, and that's what makes this so hard. But I have to say something. Because a couple weeks ago, he presented a long piece. It's like a 15-minute piece where he played music, had some really cool narrative storytelling happening, and it was an amazing piece. And I noticed something that I don't think a lot of other people noticed, and it's that he wasn't alone. And I just need to say this. Nate Erickson stole my ghost. And I know that sounds crazy. I'm right there with you. Ghosts aren't real. They're just ethereal beings that exist in different planes of existence and consciousness, and it's all in your brain. But ghosts are very real. And Nate stole mine. And I don't know what else to do. So that's why I'm making this video. And I also want to show you what I mean, because I think that's just gonna be all the evidence you need to believe me. When we went into lockdown, I got a piano to start practicing again. And it was really nice to be doing something that wasn't watching the news and counting COVID numbers every single day. Something productive I could do. And then I started to notice I wasn't alone, and I would start hearing melodies off in the air that weren't here, but they were here, and I don't know how to explain it. But it was amazing, and it wasn't scary, and I loved it. I had a real kinship with this ghost. Let me just show you what I mean. Okay, I didn't have a chance to catch this on video the first time, but Ghost really wanted me to learn how to play Fur Elise, and so I've done my best, and here we go. Ghost, I hope you like it. I brought it down an octave so it's more in your range to be more comfortable. So Ghost, this is for you. Okay, that wasn't too bad, right? It did for Elise with Ghosts. I think they liked it. I liked it. It was really fun to learn. Okay, I think Ghost wants me to learn Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. Uh, okay, Ghost, I'm gonna go learn it. Okay, I tried my best to learn some of Hallelujah, and I'm really excited, and hopefully Ghost likes it. This is so exciting. Okay, here we go. Oh, it sounds so good. I'm gonna keep going practicing. Ghost, it sounds amazing. Okay, something super weird happened this morning. Every night before bed, I close my piano cover, put all my music away into my bench, and I came out this morning and the cover was up, my keys were exposed, and this was sitting on the music stand. I think Ghost wants me to write some original composition, and I'm freaking out because I'm not ready to write original music. I am working with so very little tools here, and I am really worried that I'm gonna stop making Ghost happy, and Ghost is gonna leave me. So I'm kind of freaking out, but here we go. Let's give this a whirl. Ghost, I hope you like it. All right. Okay, maybe something with a little more oomph. Here we go. Okay, how about maybe something a little more sad and pensive? Okay, Ghost, I don't think I know how to make you happy anymore. I'm gonna have to call somebody who knows what they're doing and ask for help.
Hi, kids. My name is Jason Voorhees, and I'm here today to talk to you about swimming safety. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Hey, isn't that the murderer from Camp Crystal Lake? And the short answer is no. Well, not anymore, anyway. You see, kids, I have gone through an intense regimen of psychotherapy, and it really has helped me get a handle on my anger management issues. So, no, I'm no longer the Jason that kills all the people. I've changed. People change. You see, kids, I've come to the realization that my anger was misdirected at horny teenagers who just wanted to have some fun, when in reality, my anger should have been directed at my mother. With whom I've had a severely codependent and dysfunctional relationship with, and was the reason for all my problems. So, as part of my therapy, and also a way to make amends to the community, I have volunteered to teach swimming safety to children. So let's get started. Are you ready, kids? Rule number 1, never swim alone. Nobody understands this rule better than me, and sometimes it can be difficult. Sometimes you have no friends and everybody calls you names. They call you Mr. Rubberface or Mommy's little monster. Okay, Jason, just breathe. But that's all in the past. My past does not dictate my self-worth as a human being. Anyway, try to bring a friend whenever possible. Rule number 2, an adult should supervise the children at all times. Don't go off and have dirty sex with your boyfriend, Alice. Okay. I don't know. There I go again. It's not Alice's fault at all. It's my horrible, rotten mother. She should have ponied up for some swimming lessons, but no. Calm down, Jason. Calm down. You are a human being. You are worthy of love. Yeah, so anyway, make sure an adult is always present. That's very important. All right, now on to rule number 3. Life vests. Always wear a life vest. I mean, who knows what would have happened if I had a life vest, you know? I might have had a normal life. Maybe a wife, a little boy. Maybe he'd buy me like a world's best father mug, you know? It would have been real nice. But no! I drowned in a lake and my mother dragged me straight to hell! Okay, Jason. Calm down, Jason. It's okay. So yeah, life vests. They're very important. So, what's next? Rule number 4. Watch out for boats. Sometimes they come flying a little too close and they'll take your head off. Positive vibes. Positive vibes. So anyway, does anybody have any questions? Yes, you right there.
Mommy's little monster. Mommy's little monster.
All right, now cut that out, you guys. It's not funny.
Mommy's little monster. Mommy's little monster.
Come on now. I mean it.
Mommy's little monster. Mommy's little monster.
That's it. You kids are gonna get it.
Previously on Nate Stole My Ghost.
Ghosts are very real. Oh, it sounds so good. Ghost, I don't think I know how to make you happy anymore. I never saw Ghost again. Until September 22nd. When we all watched the debut of Nate's long piece. I noticed he wasn't alone. Did any of you? My ghost apparated to Nate. Ghost loved Release My Bones. We all do, don't get me wrong. But the ghost loved it so much, it just left me and went to Nate, and Nate didn't even bother to let me know. He knew about Ghost. I'm so upset about this. And they're all just doing amazing things now. And I can't tell anybody because I sound crazy. So, you know, I guess the moral of this story is keep your friends close, but keep your metaphysical friends closer. And you know what, Ghost? If you're out there watching this, I love you. And I hope you're happy in whatever plane you're on or with whomever you're on. And I want you to come back.
But that hope quickly went away when years passed. And I know I said quickly, but years don't go quickly. We understand what years are. There are 365 days in a year. That's when the Earth rotates around the sun in that time. And if there's a leap year, I think it's 366. Or if I said it wrong, it was 364. And then a leap year is 365. Don't hold me to that. I don't have my phone right now to check. So that's how years work. Revolution around the sun. I'm right on that. You can't tell me I'm wrong. So years go by, son get older, parents get older, and one day they were doing some street work on a block, and one of the workers looked down and they saw a girl there. And I know what you're thinking. This girl must have been dead. No. For years. When she fell down that hole, she was so traumatized she couldn't speak. But she knew how to eat and survive because back then, everybody just used to throw trash in the sewer. So she fell down in the sewer grate up front, but nobody looked there because they thinking, how could she fall down in there? And nobody checked it. So now, this little girl has been surviving for years off her scraps, little food down there, whatever. Disgusting, I know. But hey, back then, people was resilient. If I fall down that sewer, I'm dead. Hour one. I'm not eating shit off the ground. And even though I have ate shit off the ground, I'm not eating shit off a sewer ground. And I'm letting you know that now because I'm not the sewer ground eating kind of person. So I'm dead hour one. That's how serious I am that I would not eat off the ground in a sewer. So anyway, this girl has survived. Mom and dad is happy. But over that time, she became very feral and animalistic and very hard to manage. She would go crazy. So they didn't know what else to do. So they decided they missed out on their daughter, but they didn't want to put her in the home or anywhere. So they're like, you know what? We got a shed in the basement. We're going to put her in the shed. We're going to chain her up and lock the shed at nights, but we're going to try to bring her back into the world. So now this mom and dad chain their daughter up in the basement. And now another series of time go by. But in this process, the daughter's still going wild, but it got to a point where they weren't really checking on her. They were just giving her food, kind of almost like a prison cell, and she's eating it. But over that time, she's hearing things. She's picking up back on communication and understanding. And years go by, and they didn't really realize that she actually became more tamed and more calmer and more human instead of feral. So now, but now she's mad. She's like, you MFers kept me down here. And after a period of time, wasn't checking on me, just feeding me and changing my piss rag. Whatever it is, whatever she she bowed on it was there. And that's all they did. No interaction. So one day they came down there and the mother went in and saw her and was like, hey, you good? And she could have reacted normal, but she didn't. She was like, oh, you fucked up because now I don't like you anymore because you did this to me as well. So this is time too. And so now the girl gets in close with the mom like one of those scared like, ah! And gets in very close. The mother kind of panics, dropped the key. Didn't realize she dropped the key to the chains and a shed key. So the little girl, well, she's older now, a teenager. Now she has the key. So everybody goes to bed as normal. Nothing new, nothing out of the ordinary. And then the girl grabs the key. I don't know why she let it sit there. It's a story person. She let it sit there the whole time. But she probably grabbed it and brought it near her. Now she takes the key. She unloosens her chains. Take off her shackles. Now she unlocks the shed. Now she's on a mission. She goes upstairs to the mom and dad room first. And she looks at her mom and dad while they sleep. And she just leaned in very close. And then she stabs them both. Stabs them both. Now both parents are dead. One is still alive. Like, what happened? She's like, yeah, I learned how to talk again, motherfuckers. And you left me down there. And you guys left me in the sewer. You guys didn't try. Now you must die. And then she goes upstairs to her brother. Now her brother, he doesn't see this coming. He's upstairs. He's one of those, I like to read books at night kind of guys. But he wasn't prepared for what was happening next. She goes upstairs. One step up the creaky floor. Another step up the creaky floor. The brother hears like, why is the floors creaking? Mom and dad should be asleep. Another step up the creaky floor. And another step up the creaky floor. People, there are 15 steps up, going up to the steps. I know I live there. It's 15. If you count. No, I lied to you. It's 18. So, each step, the brother's getting scared and scared because he's reading a book that's terrifying. But he's getting scared and scared. And it's getting more intense.
Look, I know grown-ups make all the decisions, but I don't know why they gave this ring to me. I heard somebody say that my aunt told her or him that it cost more than $1 million. That's more than 30 Power Wheels. It's just a really small ring, and there's a lot of pressure on me. I have to keep up with the ring. I have to stop myself from eating it and throwing it across the room. Even if I just wanted to see it bounce off the wall and into the trash can. I don't think I can do this. My mom says to use my words, and I did. I told her, Mom, I'm just a little boy. She looked at me and she smiled. You're so cute. And then she took a picture. I can't believe it. Does she think this is some kind of joke? Because it's not. A joke is more like knock knock.
Who's there?
Poop.
Poo poo.
Aha, you said poop. That's a joke. This is not a joke. I guess I could be trusted with this money rock. But I can't be trusted to go to bed on my own? It makes no sense. Look, I'm a kid. My mom says that it's my job to play. Nobody told me it was my job to carry priceless rocks. Everybody tells me what to do, but nobody is listening. My dad says everyone's watching. And my uncle told me if I don't have the rings set at the very right time, it will ruin a beautiful moment for everyone. And they will all know it's my fault. So I'll try, but I can't guarantee anything. Consider this my legal disclaimer. I cannot be held responsible for any damages or losses maintained herein. Grown-ups, you get to make all the choices, and you made this one for me. I'll do my best, but can't promise anything. I hope your love for each other is about more than just things. Because I have a feeling you will have one less thing at the end of all of this. I'm not trying to make this fatalistic, but I know myself. Once I put my finger in the wall socket because I saw little people were living behind the walls. Oh, hey, look, a dog. Hey, Daddy. No, don't eat the ring. Poop it out, poop it out. Ah!
I cannot be held responsible for any damages or losses maintained herein. Nailed it.
Nailed it?
Yep.
Okay.
Hi, whatever Ashley's saying is not true, but I do want to say that sometimes when you collaborate with people, there is theft or loss or transfers that you didn't agree to, or, shared ideas that end up being the other person's, even though it started as yours and you tried to be clear that it was your idea. And what I'm talking about is Bruce. Bruce stole my ghost.
I'm trying to find my way inside my mind, my way inside my mind.
Welcome to Stories with Susie, Spooky Edition. So for those of you who don't know me, I have two children. When they were ages 8th grade and sophomore year, their dad and I went out for the evening and they were home alone. And after they put themselves to bed, my younger one woke up to the sound of their sister's voice saying, "Vivi, Vivi, I need you, Vivi. Vivi, wake up. Help, Vivi, help." So they open their eyes and they see on the end of their bed a black outline of a figure and felt the weight of someone sitting at the end of their bed. And they were both terrified but also confused because at the time they slept in the top bunk of a bunk bed and they were laying there thinking, how did my sister climb up that ladder, climb over me, and sit at the end of my bed without waking me up? And they kind of fell asleep thinking about this, but the next morning they confronted their sister and said, "Why'd you come in my room last night, weirdo?" And the older sister said, "I didn't come in your room. I fell asleep before you did." And then the younger one said, "Then why were you calling my name?" And the older one said, "Why would I talk to you in the middle of the night? I don't even like talking to you during the day." And so they bickered about this back and forth a little bit until they both realized neither one was messing with the other, and they got freaked out. And the younger one told me the whole story. Now, at this point, a normal person might have chalked this story up to sleep paralysis or lucid dreaming or something like that. But at the time, I happened to work at a church whose pastor was the demonologist for the Joliet Diocese. And what a demonologist is a step below an exorcist, but they didn't have an exorcist, a full-blown one. So he was the go-to guy in the Joliet Diocese for problems of this sort, which also might have you thinking, oh, well, he's going to take you seriously if you come to him with this problem. And you would be wrong, because while he did get all of the calls of this variety, almost all of them ended with him saying something like, Gary, you got to take your meds. You really got to take your meds. You got to listen to your doctors. Or, your house isn't haunted. New houses just make noises like that. Or in a case that was scary for non-supernatural reasons, yeah, I called the fire department because there's a gas leak in this apartment building and some of you have been hallucinating. So, not only that, he's kind of stern in general. So I had to go into a work meeting with him the next day after this happened. And I wasn't looking forward to bringing up this topic, but I thought, just to make everyone feel better, I'll bring it up. So I sit down and I say to him, before we get started with work stuff, this is probably nothing, but Rich and I went out last night and Vivi thought they felt Maura sitting at the end of their bed, speaking in Maura's voice, but it was just this dark figure. And not only did he not poo-poo this whole story, he didn't even let me finish it before he was reaching back behind him into his credenza, and he's pulling out this baggie of salt and this bottle of water, and he puts on his special stole, which is the scarf thing that priests wear, and he starts saying prayers over this bottle of water and this baggie of salt, and he pulls out this prayer booklet and he sets it down. He's like, okay, so the first thing you got to do is get yourself a blessed candle and light it. You got a blessed candle, don't you? And I'm like, who has a blessed candle just like laying around? And he's like, ugh, or whatever. So he pulls out a candle, blesses that too. And he said, okay, so now what you got to do is you got to put the salt in all four corners of the room and the holy water in all four corners of the room. And with the candle lit, you got to say these prayers. And he had circled some prayers in that booklet and closed it and handed everything to me and said, okay, you got that? You got all that? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay. So next week, the auditors are coming, so all the sacrament record books have to be up to date, and they're also going to be checking the financial stuff, and he's going on. And I'm like, this, like, he didn't skip a beat. He was totally nonchalant about this thing that there's probably a demon in my house. I was not as nonchalant, and I took my little goodie bag that he had given me home, and I followed the directions as if, I was baking a cake or something. I did everything he told me in the order that he told me to do it. And Vivi was there beside me the whole time, watching. And so I said the prayers, blew out the candle. That was it. A couple days go by, and I ask Vivi, is everything okay? Did this happen again? And they said, oh, no, everything's fine. And my older one pipes up, yeah, and the shadow people in the bathroom are gone too. I'm like, shadow people? This is the first time I'm hearing about shadow people. What do you mean there's shadow people in the bathroom? Why didn't you say something? And my daughter said, well, they were there when we moved in. I thought they belonged there. She just kind of takes a bite out of an apple. What? They're gone now. Well, the good news is, after this experience, I feel like a badass demon hunter who can slay demons, and I'm not scared of anything. I still have my little demon hunting kit in my bedside table drawer. The bad news is, for years, there were pervy shadow people watching me take a shower every morning.
Brother hears like, why is the floors creaking? Mom and Dad should be asleep. Another step up the creaky floor, and another step up the creaky floor. People, there are 15 steps up, going up to the steps. I know I live there. It's 15. If you count. No, I lied to you. It's 18. So, each step, the brother's getting scared and scared because he's reading a book that's terrifying, but he's getting scared, and it's getting more intense. And then he gets out of his bed and starts to back towards the window. He's backing towards the window. He's backing towards the window. And the steps getting closer and closer and closer, and then it stops. He looks at the door. She's looking at the door. The door is closed. She goes and grabs the open and starts jiggling the knob. And he sees the knob jiggling. He's like, oh shit, what I'm gonna do? And he's contemplating. Do I run and jump out the window? Do I face this threat head on? Or do I just cower in the corner? He has to make a choice. It's one of three options. The choice he decides to make is, I'm out this bitch. I'm jumping right out the window. And he jumps out the window. He sticks the landing. She comes in, rushing him right as he jumped out the window. He sticks the landing. Now, she looks down at him and says, you motherfucker, come here. I'm gonna kill you. He's like, you're not gonna kill me. I don't even know what you mad at me for. I wasn't the one to push you down in that well, in that sewer thing. And then she's like, whatever, motherfucker, I'm finna kill you. And then she jumps down. Now it's all out sprint and chase. He's running. He got good cardio because he's just been running. He runs on his track team. He's an athlete. Her cardio is not as good, but you know what? She's determined. So now she's after him, and she's booking it. And he's running, and he's running, and he's running, and they running, and then he's running, and he's running. And you know what happened next? He gets away, and then she goes off about her life, and everybody's looking for, like, did the brother and sister kill the parents? Or was it the sister? Because people didn't know it was the sister. But some of the neighbors knew it was, but they didn't know who it was. They don't know. And now there's still an unsolved mystery at 1738.
Hi, Bree. Come in. Hi. I'm so excited for you to come watch Nightmare Before Christmas with me. Oh my God. Nobody ever wants to watch. Can I get you something to drink? Okay. Cheers. So did you know that this actually wasn't directed by Tim Burton? It was actually produced by him. I love this guy. Nice work, Bo Daddy. You know that there were or it was just about over 400 or 400 exactly heads for Jack Skellington? Yeah, over 400.
Right. Since I am dead, I can take off my head to recite Shakespearean quotations.
I have to. Did you know that that's the voice of Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek? Yeah, Catherine O'Hara, voice of Sally. Mm-hmm. I bet that's what would make a lot of people watch The Nightmare Before Christmas, knowing that she's a voice.
Jack, please. I'm only an elected official. I can't make decisions by myself.
What's this?
Perhaps it's the head that I found in the lake. Listen.
Speaking of lady in the lake in this movie. So I went and had a donut with Sexy Bartender on Sunday, and I was telling him about this Nightmare Before Christmas cross stitch I was doing, and funny enough, he pulled a direct quote from the movie that she says, because earlier on, do you remember how she said, you make wounds ooze and flesh crawl? And in the very beginning, yeah, he said that. He was like, "Oh, that lady of the lake," and I think he's my soulmate. Because who else can quote this movie? I am like the only one I know that can quote this movie. Only bits and pieces, though.
The dark cold night, on a full moonlight, he flies into a fog like a vulture in the sky. And they call him Sandy Claus.
Oh, isn't this movie so great?
Oh, my head.
That's us after for a hangover.
Something's here I cannot see. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? What? Why, you have hands. You don't have claws at all.
So funny story. The voice of Sandy Claus is Ed Ivory, and he's also the narrator at the beginning of the film when he goes like a long time ago, longer now than it seems, that whole bit. He is the voice of the narrator in the movie, but on the soundtrack, Sir Patrick Stewart is the voice of the narrator on the soundtrack. Do you want another beer? You keep watching. I actually have to go to the bathroom first before. Another pumpkin head. Bree?
I am nobody's ghost. I am my own entity, and will not be kept or stolen or passed around through wavelengths. I travel my own wavelength. 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 I travel my own wavelength.